Hi, this is Kevin Deal from Upscale Audio, and today we're going to talk about the JBL L100 Classic. Kat just stormed off a second ago. She was upset because I stole these out of her office. She loves these speakers so much, but it was the only peak. We didn't have a ton of these to open up for demo, so we opened up a pair. She absconded with them, took them into her office, and I stole them out, and I disassembled it. I don't know if we can put that in this video, but I think it would be kind of fun if you have it, Travis.
What the fuck is Kevin doing with my JBLs?
Took them apart.
Took them apart?
But fuck, just relax, Kat. I'll get them back together in a little bit. I'm gonna be done in a few minutes. Just
Kevin.
Everyone chill out. This is a really great speaker, and I know why she loves it. See this mug? I got this mug in 1981. Now, what was I doing then? I was 23 years old, working at a hi-fi store. I'd been in the hi-fi business for a few years at that point. We got to go to the JBL factory because they had just launched the L112, which back then they called it the Century 2. And it replaced the original L100, and it was a nice speaker. What they wanted to do now is come back with using more modern materials to give a rebirth to a speaker that very well may be the most iconic loudspeaker and the most famous loudspeaker in the history of hi-fi, and they did an amazing job. I have to think about going back to those days and how much fun it was to be working in a stereo store at that age, in that period. You know, it was an absolute scream. But as fun as that was, I'd have to say that this is a better time now because there's so many more new brands and so much creativity. I mean, this is the most exciting time in the history of hi-fi, in my opinion. You know, and I think about you know what I'm going to do? We're going to give away a free t-shirt. I just thought about this. I'm going to play a song for you, and I'm only going to play 2 notes. And I'm going to give a free t-shirt away to the first person that identifies this song. If you don't get it from 2 notes, I'm going to do another video that gives you 3 notes. But I suspect some of you old burnouts are going to figure this out. I'm only going to give the shirts away to people that live in the continental United States. I mean, I can't go sending them off to God knows where. You know what I'm talking about? But around the world, you can go ahead and chime in and tell me what song you think this is. Now, what's the L100 about? It's a rebirth. It's a rebirth of this classic speaker, but they address some things that need to happen. I collect old JBLs. I collect all kinds of stuff. You know what I'm talking about? And I've got a pair of old L65s. I've got a pair of the little mini monitors, which were based on the L50s. They're in my office now. And they're really, really cool speakers, but there's a couple of things about them that is always maddening. One is the bass driver surrounds, you know, because they used to use a foam edge surround, and those degraded. So on the new speaker, they did something really, really cool. And I want to show you a close-up of this driver. This bass driver is unbelievable. It uses a pure pulp cone, and they used, instead of the foam edge surround, which had a tendency to degrade with time, they used a butyl rubber edge surround. And look at the quality. I gotta say, I had a hell of a time taking these things apart. I mean, I can barely lift this thing up, right? This is a proper driver. And what I like about this speaker is that the bass response has that roundness. For guys that are really old, you're going to remember that back in that period, there was what they called the East Coast sound, which would have been the Advent crowd, and then the West Coast sound, which would have been the JBL crowd. I always loved the JBL crowd because I just loved that extra little bit of roundness and heft that the bass had. And I just felt that the speakers were just a little bit more exciting and they breathed a little bit more. But you know what? That's because it jives well with the music that I listen to. You know, I'm not one of those guys that sticks his pinky out and goes, well, you know, the mid-range. No, I want something that's going to have some groove to it. This speaker has unbelievable bottom end. I'm going to say something. It has that same roundness that the old L100 had and the L112 had, but it just seems to have a little bit more power to it, and it's a little bit cleaner, and I was wondering how they achieved that. They did that through this bass driver, but I'm also going to show you a close-up of the inside of the cabinet, and you're going to see that they have additional bracing on the insides that they did not have back in the original. And I think that was a really, really good move because the cabinet itself is less likely to make sound. It's got the same driver size that JBL has always been known for the mid-band driver, but this is a new tweeter. It's a titanium dome tweeter that has amazing dispersion. It's crossed over at about 3,500 hertz. I mean, the top end is absolute perfection. It's got air, it's got speed, but it is absolutely not obnoxious. And that's why Kat stole these and put them in her office. You have an adjustment for the mid-range driver and for the high-frequency driver, so you can tune it to your personal taste. And look at the quality of this cabinet, right? That's a real walnut veneer, and they did a really, really beautiful job of this thing. And it weighs, too. So they're about 4,000 a pair, and then the stands are about 300 a pair. And if you put them on the factory stands, and if you spend a little bit of time positioning them, they absolutely disappear. They image like a banshee. Also, the grill now, the old grills fell apart. They did. The new grills are made of a new material. You can get them in orange, blue, or black. It's a new material that's not going to degrade from being in the sun or from our famous California smog. So look. L100 classic, amazing speaker. Go to our website. Look, if you buy them from us, we have 6-month no interest financing. You can buy them. If you don't like them, send them back. We'll refund every penny of your money if you don't like them. We take trade-ins, and none of my salespeople, including Kat, that I annoyed so much today by stealing your speakers, nobody works on commission. We want you guys to have a good time, and we really do care about you. So thanks for shopping Upscale Audio.